What's the most obvious hint you finally picked up on that led to a wild night? Story 1. A few years ago, I was venting to a close female friend about how my ex refused to do a certain oral act. My friend looked shocked and said, "I don't get why anyone would say no to that. I personally love doing it." I nearly choked. Fast forward a couple weeks. We're watching a movie at my place. I casually put my arm around her and kiss her cheek. She turns, kisses me back properly, and climbs on top. After some foreplay, she did exactly what my ex always refused. It became a regular thing with boundaries. One of the rare times friends with benefits didn't ruin the friendship. Story 2. High school PE class raining, so we're running laps inside the gym. Cute girl running next to me starts chatting. Suddenly her friends sprint up behind us chanting, "Mandy's a virgin! Mandy's a virgin!" Mandy yells back, loud enough for the whole gym to hear, "I'm working on it right now." Even dense teenage me understood that one perfectly. Story 3. Senior year of college. Me and 3 buddies end up at 2 girls' apartment after drinks. One of the girls, in the flirtiest voice possible, says, "You guys can crash in my room if you want." Clueless me, "Nah, I'm good on the couch." Her roommate pulls me aside. "Dude, she wants you in her bed." By the time I worked up the courage to go in, she was asleep. Too scared to wake her or go back to the living room looking like an idiot, I slept on her floor. She pretended not to notice in the night. I snuck out at dawn. She invited me over again the next night, and we finally made up for lost time. 5 years later, we lived together with 2 kids, not married yet, but basically are. Story 4. Coworker I used to flirt with once joked she'd hook up with me for a pack of cigarettes and even told me her favorite positions while I was still in a relationship. When I became single, that intel came in handy. We had a years-long friends with benefits thing. She was amazingly open and communicative, still great friends today. Bonus. Another girl once casually mentioned she goes crazy when someone kisses her neck. First date, we're making out and I accidentally kiss her neck. She moans, "You remembered?" I honestly hadn't. I was just in the zone. Ended up having an unforgettable night in the back seat. Story 5. First date. She says with a grin, "Just so you know, inviting you over doesn't automatically mean sex." It absolutely meant sex. We both called in sick the next day and spent it in bed. 11 years later, we're still close friends. Never officially dated, but the connection is still there. Story 6. 3 weeks ago, I went camping for the first time ever, total city boy. The maid of honor from an upcoming wedding I'm best man at brought extra gear for me. First night, 1 a.m., she taps on my 2-person tent. Everyone in the 8-person tent is snoring. Can I squeeze in? She climbs in wearing nothing but an oversized high school t-shirt and panties. We chat for 2 minutes, then out of nowhere she goes, "I've never had sex in a tent before." You can guess the rest. Story 7. Friday night at our usual bar, none of my friends show up and the place is dead. I ask the bartender where everyone is. A cute girl at the bar chimes in. "I'm right here." Bought her a drink. We've been together ever since. Story 8. Moved back to my hometown, started training Kung Fu again. Ran into an old high school buddy, went bar hopping. Passed a bar called Animations. gorgeous blonde sitting alone looking perfect. We went to another bar first, came back, she was still there. Turns out her Tinder date ghosted her, or bailed when he saw her. Hard to believe. We start chatting. She suddenly puts her hand on my knee under the table. I mirror her. She grabs my hand and puts it on her ass. My friend instantly excuses himself. She suggests a smoke outside, flashes me the moment we're out the door, and I mention my apartment is around the corner. One night stand with a stunning 39-year-old. I was 26. Woke up alone the next morning. Never saw her again. Story 9. Bumped into a hot high school friend years after graduation. Went for dinner to catch up. Then I innocently suggested watching a movie at my place. She laughed in a knowing way. I realized she thought I was trying to hook up, and she was clearly down, so I went for it. She was very happy I did. Story 10. Hotel hangout with mutual friends. On our way to the bar, we pass the pool. A drunk, gorgeous girl calls out, "Anyone want to swim with me?" Nobody had swimsuits. I took the hint, ditched the bar, and jumped in fully clothed. We got naked in the pool, hooked up, and spent the night together. 16 years later, we're happily married. Thank God I read the room. Story 11. Invited a girl and some friends for a scary movie night. Friends bailed. She still came. Offered her a beer. Mentioned I couldn't drink because I was on probationary license, 0 alcohol, or I couldn't drive her home. She grabs a second beer, opens it, and hands it to me with a smile. Yeah, I drank it. We didn't watch much of the movie. Story 12. First date at TGI Fridays. Nothing on the dessert menu looked good. She says, "We can grab something on the way to your place to watch a movie." She parks, dead serious. Go buy whipped cream and chocolate syrup. I sprinted into the store like my life depended on it. Best dessert ever. Story 13. At a restaurant with friends and a playful girl in an open relationship. She pokes me with a toothpick, dares me to poke her back. Ends with the toothpicks hidden in her cleavage and me retrieving one with my mouth. On the ride home, she flashes me. I unbutton my shirt. We barely make it out of the car. Kitchen counter, couch, coffee table, dining table, then finally the bedroom. One of the wildest nights of my life. Story 14. Just got home from high school, chilling in my driveway with a girl I just met, talking about how some people never exercise yet complain about being out of shape. She goes, "We're both pretty active and in good shape. Maybe one day we should work out together." I invited her in. Later that night, she showed up, needing a place to crash. We definitely worked out. Story 15. Out drinking with a female friend. Somehow we start talking about her amazing boobs. Drunk me asks if I can see them. She just says, "You're not taking pictures, right?" Next thing I remember, she's topless, and I'm touching them in awe. We end up on the couch, then the shower. She was on her period. Alcohol betrayed me. I kept slipping and eventually puked in the sink. Still an epic night. Story 16. First date. Her friend is there for a bit and randomly says, "If you leave marks on her, I'll be mad." I'm confused. Then ask, "You mean hickeys?" Date jumps in laughing. I actually like those marks. Let's just say the night was very eventful. Story 17. College party. Me and a friend realize we're both in long dry spells and jokingly agree, Tonight we're not going home alone, no matter what. Later I ask if she found anyone. She says no and asks me the same. Liquid courage kicks in. Wanna just leave together? She simply says okay. That was 4.5 years ago. She's still my girlfriend and the future mother of my children. I even moved to Europe for grad school to be with her.